How do you take what you've learnt and what you believe out to people, whether it's within Jewish communities all over the world or to other communities that maybe feel differently than you, so you can project this tikkun?
Whenever you're speaking to someone, an individual, it could be a parent, it could be a spouse, it could be a child, it could be a friend, it could be a coworker, you have to also understand the language that not only they speak in, but the way they see the world. Understand a person's traumas, values, worldviews. And so I'm understanding how they would understand what I would communicate when I'm in a debate with a Palestinian activist who has been raised that to be pro-Palestinian you have to be anti-Israel and that Zionism is the worst thing in the world. I understand where they're coming from. I understand what they've read, what they've been exposed to that has gotten them to that conclusion. And I'm not against what they're fighting for, which is the liberation of Palestinians. But I'm against the way that they're doing so is that they're doing so, the only way that you can get your liberation is through my destruction. So I'm not trying to prove someone wrong and me right. I'm more so trying to give someone the opportunity to see the world in a different way through their language, to be more right with their worldview. And so I'll speak in a language that allows them to understand what I'm truly communicating. Because you may be saying something like, yeah, I'm a Zionist. They won't even know what you mean by that. They'll just know that to them, Zionism means oppression, colonization, this, all the negative terms that they've associated to. And you're saying something, but they're understanding something different. But because I already understand that they're defining it by something negative, before just saying I'm a Zionist, I'll ask them, well, what do you define as Zionism? I'll ask more questions to figure out where is the actual problem. And they'll say, well, it's oppression, it's demon, it's all these horrible things. I was like, well, if that's what it meant, I'm not a part of that. However, I'd like to express to you what I am, because words are just sounds coming out of our mouths. And what matters is truly what we're trying to communicate to each other. So are you willing to judge me based on what I truly believe, and what I'm communicating to you are my values? And then I would go very specifically as to what I truly stand for and believe. And that's how you have a way more productive conversation. I've been in situations where I'm speaking to Muslims that are very religious. They see the world through the Quran. And so you have to be able to speak the language of the Quran in order for them to understand. If you're speaking to someone who's an atheist, you can't talk about anything biblical or Quranic. You have to be very scientific. I've found ways to communicate for the person to truly understand what I'm trying to say by trying to speak in the worldview.